Yes, we can hear you. And whenever you're ready, I will start your clock.
Do we have Barbara and Joelle and Devon? Are they on here?
Let's see.
We have everyone. I don't see Joelle in the room, but we have everybody else.
Okay. Oh yeah, Joelle has a class. Okay. We ready?
Whenever you're ready, Perry.
Cool. Let me share the screen. All right. This is Lauren, an underserved student here in LA whose counselor told her she can go to trade school. Now, there's nothing wrong with trade school. It's just that that's as big as Lauren was told she was allowed to dream. In her own words, students like her are guided to settle. Now, you might be thinking, aren't there a ton of these amazing college access programs for students like Lauren? There are, but sadly, a lot of them are harder to get into than Stanford. Here in LA, one program had 2,800 students apply and 90 were accepted. That's a 3% acceptance rate. But at AKALA, we don't focus on the 90. We focus on the 2710. Those were the kids who cared enough to want to go through the rigorous application process to that program, who wanted to go to college, but were pushed away and now are left with no guidance. Now, why can't these programs help these kids? It's because they haven't been built to scale. And that isn't just a problem, that's a crisis. There are 17,000 schools in the US that do not have a dedicated college counselor. That's almost 2/3 of our entire public school system. Further, kids are thinking about college way too late. Private college counselors can cost upwards of $1,000 an hour. And school counselors, if they even exist, are stretched way too thin. This 682-to-1 number is in California. Here in LA, the numbers can look way, way worse. But at AKALA, our students feel like the ratio is 1-to-1 because we have built a college admissions counseling platform that gives kids the critical guidance that they're not getting in high schools today, starting as early as 8th grade. And the difference is we are scalable. We can work with those 2,700 LA kids. Here are a couple screenshots of what students see when they're on our platform. It's a simple and awesome UX that's divided into the categories colleges consider when evaluating a candidate, and everything is customized to the student. For example, students might take an easy picture survey, and once they select their interest areas, up come all the clubs in those areas at their school, complete with video. And when they tell us about how they want to change the world, up come all the community service options near their home. And we give them plenty of activities to do at home, which is something particularly relevant today, given COVID-19. There are a ton of other cool features with AKALA, but chief among them is the fact that anytime a student or parent has a question, they can get an answer from an expert college counselor using our easy messaging service. Traction-wise, we are proud graduates of Google Launchpad and USC's EdVentures Incubator. And this year, we were designated as an Elite 200 EdTech startup by ASU-GSV. We have built an awesome product that works. We know this because we onboarded 1,000 kids, 1,000 8th graders, through a freemium model at 7 charter middle schools and showed that when in the curriculum, we can change behavior. But we also ran a pilot with 3 after-school programs. And after finding success there, and then through the guidance of Gabby and Don, where we had over 50 meaningful conversations with a user-centered design mindset, we have now done a full pivot, and our product market fit with this model is really with these youth engagement organizations. And we have solidified a partnership with 2 of the biggest names in the game. They pay $150 to $350 per student per year. And it's really a double bonus for these organizations. They get a white label college access solution and a tracking tool that they've never had before to stay in touch with kids when they are outside the building walls. Right now, with COVID-19, 3 of our chapters are working virtually with their students every week. Second, we have a pilot with 30 middle-class families paying an affordable subscription model with almost no attrition in the last 2 years. With a cash injection, for every $25,000, we can change the lives of 165 underserved kids at Boys and Girls Clubs and police athletic leagues right here in Los Angeles, starting tomorrow. Our competition focuses too much on college search, match, and selection geared towards juniors, but that's just way too late. And they don't give the individualized counseling that we do. And their focus is only applications, whereas we start in 8th grade and develop applicants. Our founding team has over 50 years of experience in college admissions. We are born out of a 25-year legacy business that has served over 15,000 students, and that was started by our president, Barbara. And our tech lead comes from Twilio. With AKALA, we can close the massive guidance gap that exists here in LA, making a big dollar and a big difference. Thank you. Oh, and what about Lauren? Well, she'd never made it to trade school. After coming through the AKALA program, I'm very proud to report that she's going to graduate in 4 years from Northwestern. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Perry, and thank you, AKALA. Our first question is about your pricing model. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, so with the youth engagement organizations, if it's coming out of their direct pockets, they oftentimes don't have huge budgets, but they do have budgets for college access. And so that's $150 per kid per year. But we're going for a lot of co-grants with them. For example, the Police Athletic League has 85 chapters in California, and we're doing a big co-grant with them. And that pricing is more in the $350 range because we can add more of what we can do for the kids at that point. And then the individual subscription model's $30 a month.
Great. A question from Daniel Talalian. Who responds to those individual messages at scale?
Yeah, so what we realized was that basically there's so much that a police athletic league or a Boys and Girls Club can do, pretty much 90% of it by following our platform and our curriculum. And then what that allows us to do is really focus on the college admissions specific questions, like should I take math honors or math regular? And so that allows us to have one counselor be able to work with 450 kids, no problem. And that's how we do it at scale. And the way we get to those counselors is through retired teachers and retired counselors and current teachers and current counselors who are starving for extra cash, which is very much modeled after the VIP kid model out of China.
Great, thank you very much. A question from another judge. How much investment dollars have you raised from other sources so far?
Yeah, we raised a $550,000 pre-seed, and we're about to launch a $1 million seed round to sort of get us to the next stage, really. So, which we're targeting 150 youth engagement organizations.
Great. Another question from a judge. How does your program compare with, for example, College Match, which is free?
Yeah, so College Match is free, but their pricing model, they raise a ton of money, and it's a very expensive program. It's a great program. It's an amazing program. But sadly, it's not, in our minds, as scalable as we are. And furthermore, you're getting the guidance from experienced college counselors, which is so important. You know, if you think about the one thing that the affluent are spending extreme top dollar for, it's access to people like us. And we found a way to scale that level of guidance.
Great. So if you're just joining us in the audience or you've been with us for a while, all of these questions are coming in from our 25-member voting panel that are watching these teams pitch right now. So another question from the voting panel, how many monthly subscribers do you have and what is your monthly churn?
So the monthly subscriber was actually just a pilot we ran with 30 families, and we were really focused on schools for a while and then these youth engagement organizations. So it's been 30, and it was 31 at one point, and we lost one family because a girl decided she didn't want to go to college. But yeah, we've had zero churn, which has been pretty amazing.
And then you also have a program right now with after school programs?
Yeah, so that's like the youth engagement organization. So that's like the Police Athletic League and the Boys and Girls Club. That's where we really want to target in terms of a huge impact here in LA, because those are the last great hope for these kids. They're not going to get the guidance in school, but they have an authoritative figure at these programs who they trust and who they have a great relationship with, and therefore we think that's the best way to get them, you know, all the way to college.
Great. Another question from one of the judges. How did you reach the $25 to $30 mark? Have you tested this price from the user's perspective, and how did they perceive your brand based on this number? And a related question, are you planning on offering a premium tier for more one-on-one help, like reviewing essays, helping with applications, etc.?
Yeah, so for the second question, we do have a whole premium tier, and we actually have a whole model in China. That's where we made a lot of our revenue, which is almost $175,000 so far, where that's a super premium product for them. And we actually viewed them as being able to fund these underserved kids here in the U.S. because they pay $20,000 to $30,000 for the service. And then the first question was,
how did you reach the $25 to $30 mark, and have you tested this price from the user's perspective?
Yeah, the $30 mark, they didn't even blink. So we're actually looking at maybe A/B testing with, seeing if we can push to a $50 mark and drive even more revenue for us. So that's where we're headed next. We want to sort of test that out.
Okay, great. All right, I'm looking at the time. We have about a minute left if we have other questions from the judges. The judges got scared of me editing them down on questions, so they're holding back. They're afraid of having their hands slapped. All right, thank you very, very much. Oh, one more question. Two more questions. Okay, can you speak more about the team's background is your next question.
Yeah, so Deban and I went to boarding school together out on the East Coast. Deban actually worked with Barbara to help him get into college. He was told by our counselor he had no chance of getting into University of Pennsylvania. Barbara overrode that decision, and Deban is now a UPenn grad. And he is also, Deban, are you there? I don't know if he's muted. But Deban is a Teach for America alum, and he also is a founding principal at three different charter middle schools in the KIPP and Achievement First networks. And then Barbara has been in education for 40 years and has served over 15,000 kids through her company. And Joelle is one of the great stories. I mean, she's literally, a poster child for what we do. She went to a school with 3,800 kids and only one counselor per grade.
Amazing. Okay, so final two questions. You can choose which you want to answer first. Can you talk a little bit more about scalability and how many students can each counselor handle? And does the model support access to grants and scholarships? You pick.
Yeah, so we definitely support access to grants and scholarships. We've partnered with a company called Frank, which does a lot of on the financial aid side of things. And we're looking to partner with a couple of different scholarship organizations. We don't want to reinvent the wheel on that. There's a few companies that do some amazing work there. Sorry, and the first one was?
Can you comment further on scalability? How many students can each counselor handle? And this is your final question.
Yeah, each counselor can handle 450 students. And that may sound like a lot, but it's actually not. Like I said, we've really found a way to make it so that these youth engagement organizations, it's really a white label tool. They can become the college counselor at their chapter. And then we come in and fill in only when there's like a key college admissions question, like, should they do this community service or that one? Or should they join this club or that one? And that sort of allows us to focus on just college admissions and really scale to a huge number of kids.
Thank you very much, Team AKALA.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.